just received confirmed reports that India has attacked civilian targets, including a mosque and residential accommodation on 5 locations in Pakistan. And as per the initial reports, there are casualties, including women and children. The detailed damage assessment is being done, and Pakistan has a right to respond. Pakistan will respond. As I've said before, we had an apprehension that India will attack. Pakistan has never struck first, but we have the right to self-defense. And the way civilians have been targeted, and I have pictures and images of women and children who are badly injured in hospital. So civilian localities, accommodations, and a mosque which has been attacked. There were no terrorist camps. I myself took foreign journalists and local journalists to an area near the line of control where India had alleged that there are terrorist camps. You see, we are the frontline state against terrorists. How can we...
I'm just going to pick up on a couple of points, Mr. Atul Tarar. You said that you've already received images of women and children who have been injured. This attack took place roughly about an hour or so ago. Will you be taking international and local journalists to the sites? Because in the past, when Pakistan has made such claims, they haven't allowed any journalists...
I'll stop you right there. I had planned to take them tomorrow morning. We had a plane ready. We had reached out to journalists. We had a confirmed itinerary, a confirmed plan to go to Bahawalpur tomorrow. And I was supposed to fly to Bahawalpur at 7 a.m. in the morning. And at around right after midnight, India has carried out these attacks. So we were going to Muridke, we were going to Bahawalpur, and we were taking 35 journalists with us, including foreign and local journalists. So I was just preparing for the visit tomorrow. As I had visited the LOC, we were going to Bahawalpur, and we had to visit this exact place. And the journalists were already ready for the journey. So I think this has been a very, very, I think, unfortunate step by India. We condemn it. We are responding. But to target civilian population, it's extremely unfortunate.
Just to point out, Minister, the Indian armed forces say that altogether 9 sites have been targeted, that they haven't hit any Pakistani military facilities. These are terrorist camps that they are hitting.
Let me make it very clear. There are no terrorist camps in Pakistan. Pakistan is a victim of terrorism. We are fighting the terrorists in our western regions, on our western borders. We are the frontline state against terrorism. We've laid down 90,000 lives in this war against terrorism. India, on the other hand, when we had the Jafar Express hijacking, an intense hijacking incident, India did not even condemn it, let alone express some concern about that incident. So India has been sponsoring terrorism by assassinating Sikhs in US, in Canada, in Australia. We captured a spy by the name of Kulbhushan Yadav, who's a commissioned naval officer.
Can I just point out to you, on my program just a week ago, your Defence Minister, Khwaja Asif, admitted that Pakistan has for decades had a policy of funding, backing and using terrorist groups as proxies in the country. In fact, in 2018, President Donald Trump cut military aid to Pakistan because he accused Pakistan of playing a double game. So when you say there are no terrorist camps in Pakistan, that is going against what General Pervez Musharraf has said, what Benazir Bhutto has said, what your defence minister said just a week ago. In fact, what Bilawal Bhutto said to me a few days ago, he said that terrorism and funding and backing terrorist organisations has been and was part of Pakistan's history.
Post 9/11, let's talk about post 9/11 scenario. And let me be very clear. Post 9/11, Pakistan was the frontline state, and we still are the frontline state in eliminating terrorism. You see, when we are the guarantors of world peace, because we are a wall between the terrorists and the rest of the world. I would like to invite you to Pakistan to come and see the circumstances.
I have been to Pakistan, sir, and we know that Osama bin Laden was also discovered in Abbottabad in Pakistan. So these accusations on Pakistan, including your defence minister making the admission, is there, and that is why part of the reason...
What the defence minister was referring to, I think he's been misinterpreted. You see, there was a Soviet invasion back in the 80s, and obviously We were countering the Soviet invasion. At that point in time, that's part of history. And we were allies of the US. So post 9/11, the scenario changed completely. And Pakistan made a lot of sacrifices. Pakistan is still laying down lives against terrorists. Even today in Balochistan, there was a terrorist attack. We lost 7 soldiers. So you see, Pakistani politicians, Pakistani soldiers, Pakistani officers, Pakistani military, Pakistani police, they've been giving numerous sacrifices. So there's no question at all, madam, of having terrorist camps in Pakistan.
Well, that contradicts Western intelligence, the State Department. There have been many, but I just want to focus you on this particular incident, sir. How will Pakistan now respond?
You see, let me just conclude the previous argument by saying that when we captured this wanted terrorist on the Afghan border, President Trump, in his State of the Union address, actually appreciated Pakistan's efforts in the war against terrorism and how Pakistan is dealing with these terrorists, how we are capturing them, how we are going after them, how they are being eliminated.
Up until a few years ago, sir, Pakistan was on a grey list of states sponsoring of terrorism just a few years ago. So I know you want to take this back to the 1980s, but the point is that this is something that Pakistan has long been accused of, and that's why India has pointed the finger of blame on Pakistan for the Pahalgam attack.
India should have gotten its own house in order. You see, after the intense hijacking of the Jafar Express, we had terrorists appearing on Indian media, giving interviews. The Balochistan Liberation Army, which is a terrorist organization. We had images from the mobile phones of the terrorists being shown on the Indian media. Pakistani media did not have those images. So you see, the fight that we are fighting is not only for us, it's for the rest of the world. As far as the current situation is ongoing, we are responding. We've shot down, as per initial reports, we've shot down 2 Indian planes. And obviously, India is the aggressor, provocator. They've attacked civilian areas. There were no terrorist camps, and I can vouch for that because we were going there tomorrow, and we will respond because we have the right to self-defense.
I just wonder, Minister, how will you now respond? Because if you're saying that you're going to respond, the Prime Minister tonight of Pakistan says there will be a response. What will a response from Pakistan look like?
The response is already ongoing. I'm afraid I cannot share operational details. But what I can tell you is that as per initial reports, we've shot down 2 Indian planes, and we are responding to Indian aggression right now as we speak.
And do you feel this could potentially escalate further? Because, of course, there is so much at stake, and both countries know what's at stake here.
It's an evolving situation. It's an ongoing situation. And obviously, we've had an attack. We've responded. But as I had said before, in many interviews, and I came that night saying that we had an apprehension that India would attack, we always said that India will be the aggressor without evidence. You see, we offered an investigation into the Pahalgam whole episode. We were the ones who said that our hands are clean. We want an investigation, a fair and transparent investigation. But you see, India, without any evidence, has targeted civilians, women and children. India had no right to do that. So we now have a right.
We're still in the fog of war, sir. So, we don't have evidence of that. We're still waiting for information to emerge. I know you're telling me this, but we don't have clarity.
I will send you images. I will appreciate if you can run those images on your television.
Yes, once we've verified any images that come through, because, of course, we are still in the fog of war. There is still information coming through.
I'm sure,
it is the dead of
these
night.
images are being received from hospitals in Bahawalpur. And as a Minister for Information, I occupy a seat of responsibility. I've taken an oath, and I will give you correct and verified information, which you can also verify from your independent sources.
And can you understand, Minister, why India would point the finger of blame on Pakistan for what happened in Pahalgam on the 22nd of April, because of the long accusations against Pakistan for backing and funding and giving sanctuary to terrorist organizations, including Lashkar-e-Taiba. And this group, the Resistance Front, is believed to be a splinter group of Lashkar-e-Taiba, and they are the ones who claimed responsibility for what happened on the 22nd of April in Kashmir.
You see, Pakistan is fighting this war against terrorism and no group has claimed any responsibility. And this area is a good 200 kilometers from the Pakistani line of control, this Pahalgam area. And you see, the FIR, the first information report by the Pahalgam police, was registered within 10 minutes of the incident. The police arrived after 1 hour 30 minutes. And when the victims were bleeding, I saw a video of one of the sisters of the victim saying that her brother was bleeding and nobody came for 1.5 hours. India has no evidence whatsoever to link Pakistan to this incident. But India has attacked civilians, women and children today without any justifiable cause. And because we have the right to self-defense, we will defend our country. We will respond because India ran away from the investigation. When our Prime Minister offered an investigation into the matter, then why run away? We even offered to the friendly countries like the United Kingdom to join in the investigation. We told the international community that an investigation will reveal the facts, but I think it's the right-wing BJP, which is against the Muslims, against the Sikhs, which has persecuted minorities, and they wanted a reason to attack Pakistan, and without any evidence, they have done so. But Pakistanis, we have a high morale, and we will respond back to Indian aggression, and the response is ongoing at this point in time.
Well, the reason, like I said, that India has pointed the finger of blame because of your country's history and links with different terrorist organizations, which, as I said, in the last Trump administration, they cut military aid. Your country was on a grey list for a number of years, including just a few years ago. Osama bin Laden was discovered near a military base in Pakistan in quite an affluent area. US Navy SEAL Special Forces conducted that operation without telling Pakistan, who were their allies at the time, working with them in the war in Afghanistan, because they couldn't trust the Pakistani defense and intelligence and military establishment. And so because of Pakistan's reputation in this area, that is why Indian officials have said, based on the information they have, they've pointed the finger of blame on Pakistan because the Resistance Front, a splinter organization linked to Lashkar-e-Taiba, which is linked to the ISI in Pakistan, is believed to be behind this attack.
I deny these allegations completely, and I don't agree with your view, because we in Pakistan, our 4 generations have fought terrorists. Even now in Balochistan, in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, we are fighting terrorists day and night. Our western region, our western borders, all over, Pakistan is facing terrorist attacks every second week. If you're talking about the history, the Soviet invasion, the Cold War between the US and the Soviet Union at that point in time, well, that was a different story.
But I was talking about 2009 when Osama bin Laden was there, or 2021 when the Taliban returned to power in Afghanistan. It was with the support of Pakistan that they were able to do that.
That's slightly unfair, because Osama bin Laden was not being harbored by the Pakistani authorities.
They were near a military base. I mean, you have very strong intelligence.
No, that was very far away from the site where he was recovered. The point is that without Pakistani intelligence, right now, these ongoing operations, they would probably fail. And I think President Donald Trump has made himself very clear in the State of the Union address when he has thanked Pakistan for their efforts in the war against terrorism, for capturing wanted terrorists, and for the good fight that we are fighting, not only for ourselves, but for the whole world. So no other country has to its credit 90,000 lives. Politicians, military men, police, we've laid down 90,000 lives in this war on terror, and this war still continues. So I think India's allegations are ill-founded. They have no evidence. And when we offered an investigation into the matter, then India ran away from that investigation and resorted to these attacks.
Mr. Tarar, I mean, the world is waiting to hear and see how Pakistan responds and whether this situation escalates further. India says justice has been served. They accuse you of being behind the Pahalgam attack, and they say they have responded. Do you believe now a line can be drawn in the sand?
I think India will now face Pakistan's very fierce response, because we are never the aggressors. And regarding Pahalgam, as I said, the Indians are questioning their own government, that they have no evidence, they have no facts, and they ran away from the investigation, which Pakistan had offered. and they attacked our civilians. They attacked our mosque today. They attacked 5 localities. Pakistan will now respond and respond very, very effectively. Make no mistake, because our desire for peace should not be mistaken for our weakness. And what about India harboring terrorists, assassinating Sikhs in US, in Canada, in Australia? And when we captured their spy, Kulbhushan Yadav, we have numerous incidents where India is involved in targeting Pakistani localities, and they have been involved in terrorism, not only in Pakistan, but in many countries around the world. So I completely deny what you're saying.
Minister, what do you expect from the international community? Do you expect President Trump to step in, intervene? Do you expect the UK government to try and de-escalate the situation?
You see, absolutely, people will be concerned about the situation, and countries around the world have expressed their concern. But our diplomatic efforts, we've presented our case to all friendly countries. Our Prime Minister had a telephonic conversation a few days back with Marco Rubio. He spoke to the Iranian president. He spoke to the Malaysian president. He spoke to the UN Secretary General. He met the ambassadors of United Kingdom. He met the ambassador of Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Turkey, China. We presented our case before the world, and we had already told the world that India will attack. I had said that in my press conference, and that is exactly what has happened, because India is the aggressor. Without any evidence, they wanted to create an atmosphere.
India says it's altogether hit 9 targets. They've said that they were focused, they were measured. They've described this as hitting terrorist infrastructure. You say it is not terrorist infrastructure, and you will give access to international media as well as local media to be able to access those sites. I know you said you were going to take them there tomorrow, but in the past, when we have seen these sorts of strikes, the Pakistanis have shied away from giving access.
You see, when I took foreign and local journalists to a village near the LOC, and tomorrow morning, I was planning to take them to Bahawalpur, to Muridke, to show the exact place where these strikes have occurred, to show them that the local population is living there. Our women, children, our civilians are living there. But I think we totally deny India's allegations regarding terrorists. We have complete evidence that women and children have been targeted. There are civilian casualties in this. And we will bring this evidence to the foreign media, to the local media, because there were no terrorist camps at all. And I can vouch for that. And I completely deny these allegations. There are no terrorist camps. No terrorists were being harbored. These were civilian populations. There was a mosque. There were locals living there. And their accommodations have been targeted, which is very, very unfortunate. We are responding to that. Thank you very much.
In 2019, Pakistan shot an Indian plane and a military jet, and they captured an Air Force pilot. They returned the Air Force pilot, and that de-escalated the situation. This time round, India has launched the airstrikes not in Pakistani airspace. How do you think the situation might de-escalate now in this situation?
I think it's an ongoing situation where they've attacked and we are responding. Let's see how it turns out. Thank you for your time. I'm grateful that you took my question.